of the season, you talked about him as being kind of the rare blank slate for a high level recruit. What exactly were the expectations for him going in the year in terms of playing time, role, all those kind of things?
A big thing here, and it starts in the recruiting, and Coach Cal does a good job, is we really don't promise anything. So, we know we had a bunch of guys coming back in a similar position with the Keons and the Jacob, Oscar Lance, kind of the big man, per se, position. But we knew how talented he was, and we knew some of the things that he could do in his, unique blend of athleticism and, some skill for a big man. So, the thought process was that he would be somebody, that would kind of fill a void that we didn't have, which is an elite shot blocker, lob threat, rim runner. And then we knew, part of the reason he came here and his family sent him here was the development piece. So it's just continuing to do that. And, other people have played really good this year so far. So, that's part of the thing. And we're winning games. So, you just kind of, have to wait your turn in your role. So, it's just kind of how the cards were dealt for him, and he's done a good job handling it.
Daryl Bird.
Yes, follow up on that a little bit. I mean, coaches all the time say, next man up, wait your turn, be ready, all that. But how hard, go inside Daimion's head, how hard is that for players, especially a freshman, to be ready, to keep their spirits up and not to get down about it and to just fight through it?
It's extremely hard because, he's 17, 18 years old, 18, 19 years old. He's a McDonald's All-American. He's been the best player, from the time he was probably from where he's from 6 all the way through 18, so it's hard. It's extremely hard, but it's something that he needs and that will benefit him and his development throughout the rest of his career. If basketball is what he wants to do, for the rest of his life, this is something that he needed to go through and needed to experience and kind of show that he has the mental toughness to maybe not play in 3 or 4 games and then come in and have an impact like that. The biggest thing he did was he made 6 free throws. That's a hard thing to do on the road as a freshman. You haven't played in 3 games. And then, the lob thing is kind of, that's just a talent. That's just the guy gift, being able to jump and do things like that. But the free throws was the biggest part and him being able to do that. But it's extremely hard because, at 18, it's something you've never had to deal with before. Being that high level of athlete, that good of a player, coming off the bench, sitting on the bench, not playing. It's not something you prepare yourself for if you are a competitor.
Jerry Tipton.
Jay, I hope you can elaborate a little. I guess it's obvious, but what makes it difficult for a freshman or anybody, any player, to make those free throws on the road, in a big game?
It just goes to the mental toughness, kind of preaching to that. I think it's hard, and I'm speaking more so for Daimion because he hadn't played the last couple of games. And, when you don't play and, a big thing now is just the instant gratification for kids. So he's getting bombarded with people from the outside. Oh, you're not doing this, or trying to blame the coaches. But just being able, to block all that out and go in the game and execute such usually the win games and things like that is just the minor fine details. And part of it is making free throws. Not playing, it's easier to, miss a free throw and then kind of build in an excuse and be like, I haven't played. So that's why I missed the free throws. It's harder to go out there and have that mental toughness and be like, okay, I'm making these free throws and I'm helping my team win. And he was able to do that.
And when we talked to him, he talked about bulk, needing the bulk up,
Yep.
and he's eating more and so on. How is that supervised? You know what I mean?
We
to
have
make sure a guy is.
Yeah, it's a team. It takes a team. We have a great strength coach and Rob Harris, and Miss Monica, our sports nutritionist, does a good job of staying on top of it. But it's his body. It's something. It's his gift and his curse. Of course, some games you're going to be going against a 24-year-old 255 guy. So it is what it is. But he has to continue. And the one thing about Daimion and has really helped him stay on path is his awareness of who he is and where he is. And that's really been a good job. He's really done a good job with that. And that's just something, hopefully as he gets older, his body develops. But the biggest thing when you're small like that, you just got to fight. And he does what he can, but you can still see sometimes like the rebound, free throw rebound, he gets it and he falls down. That's just part of him just developing and getting older. So it'll come with time.
Larry Vaughn,
Hey, Jake, just to change course a little bit, just wondering, the bandwagon's getting pretty full with Kentucky supporters right now. Do you worry about your players embracing the prosperity, or is it a good thing to have players seeing that, hey, people saying we think this team can win a national championship? Is that a good thing?
The hardest thing, and it's just not with the bandwagon, but it's just in general, is keeping them in the moment. With social media and stuff like that, it's easy for them to get, drawn into that hole. But Coach does a good job of, telling the truth. That's one of his greatest things as a head coach, is him being able to tell the truth and know what's going on, and his experience of going through this so many times before. So that's the biggest part. And then another good part about it is we have older guys. We have a Kellen Grady who's 24. We have Oscar who's older, playing in games. Same with Sabir and Daimion and Keon. So, it's a little bit different because we have a little bit more of the guys who have been through situations that help them in this. Maybe they haven't won this big and been on a top 5 team in the nation, but, they've gotten some things from some places that can help. And, the biggest thing is just keeping them in the moment and worrying about today and worrying about the next game. So, that's a big thing, is just trying to eliminate that outside noise like you're talking about, the clutter.
So you say Coach tells the truth. So is Coach telling them they can win a national title then?
No, we haven't talked about that. That's just because it's so far away. But, one thing Coach always preaching, this from September on, is that we're playing for March. We're trying to get better all the way through March. So that's something he always talks about. But then also bringing it back into the moment and the reality, and understand we still have to eliminate the clutter, as he likes to call it, that will get to us and kind of, it can be like poison. It can seep in and kind of run through the team. So that's what I mean by him addressing it and telling the truth, is he goes right at it and nips it in the bud.
John Wong,
Hey, Jay, with Daimion being such a lob threat, you also need guys who can throw that pass. And we saw Sabir throw that beautiful midcourt pass to Keon during the last game. And then you saw Ty kind of brick one off the backboard too. But can you talk about how skilled those guys are in being able to throw that, and how competitive they are between each other in throwing that perfect pass?
Yeah. And, the one, Ty, one, it was a bad pass, but 2, Daimion was tired. So, he didn't even need to throw it at that time. But, Davion threw a lob to him in the first half. That's how he got his first one. You talking about Sabir, and that's something Coach has always taught. And it's something that we have, that he's generally had with, the big guys that have been there before. So it's something that he teaches from day one. He's a big advocate of the lob pass. So we've worked on that since June and July. And so this was the first game where, the good thing about us is we have the ability to go to a bunch of different things. So we've never really shown the lob threat or had to do it, but because of the way we played, Coach talked about it at shoot around, that, he was going to play Daimion because of this, and it happened to work out that way.
Thanks.
John Hale, back to you.
Jay, right before you came out, Cal tweeted that Shaden is definitely not going to play this year. I know we all were talking about it for weeks and weeks. How close did it actually get to him getting in the game, or did it?
Well, this was kind of always the plan, was for him to kind of take this year to just practice, develop his body, and then get ready for next year. But, when you get here, you get around the team and stuff, kind of you get excited and you want to play in the games. You see the fans and stuff like that. So, I think that became a part of it, but this was always the plan. And I think it just, it started to get a lot of noise and stuff. So he was just ready to kind of, Shaden and his family were ready to kind of move forward and just get ready to focus on what's the next step. And it's just him, knowing that he's not going to play, and then just continue to develop and continue to, grow his game and grow his body and get ready for the following year.
Jared Tipton,
Yeah, Jay, this is a little off topic, but I saw where the ACC network is doing a 10-part documentary on the ACC tournament. Your father is going to be a featured person in that. I'm wondering how familiar you are with him as a player. Did you look at tape or film or whatever? What kind of impression did he make on you as a player?
Him as a player.
Yes.
Well, I mean, obviously, I knew how good he was, being the first pick in the draft. So that was kind of the first, initial thought. And then, watching the games from when he was at Maryland, the one game that's always been on the Classic and you've seen is, of course, the game against North Carolina State, where it was, one of the best games ever played. And then watching some of his stuff from the NBA, you kind of realize, how good he was. But I always gave him a hard time because I always used to preach to me about, going left and, making sure I use my weak hand and my off hand. And then I watched a clip of him dribbling, down the right side with his left hand. So I always gave him, a hard time about him not using his right hand. So, that was the biggest thing. But, he's been one of my biggest influence on basketball my whole life. And that's just, a trait and a tool that he gave me just as being a father and passed down to me and my brother. But
Well, I heard them say that he still refuses to watch any replay of that NC State game.
Yeah. Yep. And we've never.
What made it so difficult for him to,
because
watch?
back then, everybody didn't get to go to the NCAA tournament. You almost had to, win the conference, win the league. So that NC State game was it. You know what I mean? They get beat, they lose, and the season's over pretty much. You don't get that opportunity and that chance to play for a national championship. And that kind of is what it is because they had a really good team. But that's just how it was back then. So that's why I think it brings up too much pain, too many bad memories.
Thank you.
Yep.
Daryl Bird.
Yeah, Jay, I don't think I mean this as a joke, but what kind of a luxury is it on those lob passes to know that with Daimion, it's almost impossible to lob it too high?
Yeah. And that's what that's what coaches told the guards all year. We had the best lob threat in the country. All you have to do is get it over the defense and he'll get it. And, it's like having a Tyreek Hill or, like a Jamar Chase, somebody you can just kind of close your eyes and throw it. And, it's a 90% chance he's down there. He's going to grab it. He's going to finish it. So, it's like having that threat and that option is always a good thing to have because it just adds so much more to your arsenal when you already have other things that you can do. Now you have to worry about this also. So it's just another thing that we can kind of go to when needed.
On the point guard side of it, what kind of a luxury is it to have you've got Severe, you've got Tata, they're really very different types of players.
Yeah.
What kind of luxury is that to have to run those two guys or even Daimion if you need to, three different styles of point guard?
That's it, because you have something and then they all can play together. I think that's the best luxury is that they don't, they complement each other. Daimion, the way he's been shooting the ball last couple of games, Ty, his ability to score, and then Savir being able to find people. But, it's a great luxury. If you look at teams that have won big these last couple of years, they've played multiple point guards. That's kind of where the game is and where basketball has gone here lately. So, like you talk about, they all give us something different. So it gives us different packages we can run depending on who's at the point guard. So, it's something that we're, happy about that we have and that we can kind of go to.
John Hale.
Jay, one more about Shaden. How can he help this team still, even not playing, just as a practice guy?
I mean, he's a high level practice guy. I mean, you're not going to run into too many practice guys like that. He has that ability. He's not, you got to guard him. You know what I mean? He's coming at you. He's getting aggressive. He's getting more comfortable in practice. And that's the biggest thing, for a lot of these guys, especially when, he's somebody who's missing a year of high school. It's just the adjustment to the speed, the pace, the strength. So it's good for him too, but it's good for the others because, he's a different type of athlete that you don't see every day. He's a different type shot maker, that he doesn't see every day, but just getting him accustomed to the speed of the game is the biggest. And then on the other end, it gives you another guy that elevates practice also.
Daimion, just kind of what has your mindset been over the last month or so when you weren't playing a whole lot to stay prepared for the opportunity you got on Saturday?
I mean, my whole mindset was, you just stay ready for my opportunity, keep working, keep grinding every day, and just like what happened Saturday when my chance comes, just be ready and play hard.
Daryl Bird.
Yeah, I was gonna follow up on that. How hard was that doing it though? I mean, coaches always say, be ready for your shot. I mean, if you're sitting there, games are passing, you're not even leaving the bench. How hard is that mentally to fight through that and to make sure you are ready when the chance comes?
I mean, I think that'd be tough for any basketball player because, every basketball player wants to get out there and play, but, a team like ours, we have a whole lot of good players and, everybody have their nights, so you just gotta keep yourself you gotta stay within yourself, think of the positive, just keep working.
Larry Vaughn.
Daimion, was there anybody in particular, coach-wise, player-wise, that kind of helped you emotionally and mentally get through these last couple of months when you weren't getting to play as much as what maybe you'd hoped to?
I think pretty much, everybody played a big part in, just telling me to just keep going, stay ready. But, I think my parents played the biggest part. They talking to them every night, stuff like that. That's what just kept my head on straight.
Thanks.
Jerry Tipton.
Yeah, Daimion, what exactly did your parents say to advise you to keep your head on straight?
I mean, they just tell me, just as being a freshman, it's going to be older kids, playing over me and stuff like that. But I just got to keep a good state of mind, just stay in the gym, keep working. And so when my time comes, I just go out there and play hard and, just do what I did.
When's the last time you didn't play much for a team?
Never.
Thanks.
John Hale, we'll come back to you.
And we kind of just assume that every five-star recruit who comes here is thinking one and done, but I know that's not necessarily the case, especially for a guy who needed to put on some weight. Just what were your expectations coming into the year? What did you think was going to happen this season?
I mean, just coming in, main thing was, just development, just get myself right, get better. And then, just looking forward to the season, playing with my team, being with the players, the coaches, and everyone.
Gary Graves.
Yeah, Daimion, I guess with Saturday's game, if you could just talk about your comfort zone, being able to come in and find a way to score. I mean, how hard or easy was that for you?
I mean, it wasn't, I ain't gonna say it was just hard or easy, but, I just, stuck with the game plan, played how coach was telling me to play and my teammates found me.
John Wong.
Daimion, we hear Coach Cal always tell us, make me play you. So what do you add to the team that maybe some of the other players don't have? Why should he be playing you?
I mean, I ain't gonna say just like a certain thing that I do. I'm just, stay ready, just go in and play hard. And, whenever like Kyle always say, if one player might not have their night, someone has to step up, and replace that, man. So, just staying ready, really.
Yeah, you add something that I think not any of the other teammates have, and that's really that ability to go up there and catch that alley-oop and dunk it. You've got a couple of point guards who can throw that ball to you. Can you talk a little bit about Xavier and Ty and what they add, how they complement your game?
Yes, sir. With me having the ability to be able to jump like that, can catch lobs and then having two good point guards that, you know, that's not selfish, that's always looking, that just helped me and it helped them on the same time. So I think that was pretty good.
Dick Gabriel?
Yeah, Daimion, the plays they ran for you and those successful lobs kind of helped take the crowd out of the game. What's it like for you, or what was it like for you in that game to be able to contribute and to execute that play when your team really needed it and help take that crowd out of the game?
I mean, I think that's always good, you know, being able to help your team out, help your team get the win, you know, just doing what you love to do. I think that's always good.
Larry Vaughn?
Daimion, I was just wondering, would you consider the game in Alabama just kind of a normal performance for you, or did you do things that even surprised yourself during the game?
I can say that was like a normal game. You know, I just did what I was asked to do. You know, I just played hard. And, you know, just did what the game plan was. So I think that was a pretty normal game.
Jerry Tipton?
Yeah, Daimion, I wondered, everybody knows, you know, you need to bulk up some. I'm wondering why you are thin. Was it a heredity or a diet? Why?
I really don't know. Yeah, I just.
I'm assuming you're making efforts to bulk up. What are you doing?
Yeah, sir, most definitely. You know, I live 3 to 4 times a week with Rob. You know, I've been on a meal plan, eating more. And so, you know, we're definitely doing stuff to, you know, put on weight.
What sort of things are you eating or not eating, you know, to try to bulk up?
It's really not. I really eat like regular stuff. It just, you know, just eat more time than I usually do.
Thanks.
Daryl Bird?
Yeah, a couple things, Daimion. Are they telling you how many calories you're eating a day? Do they let you know?
I know Monica, she was telling me I need to eat like at least 5,000 calories a day to try to, you know, build my body.
Another thing is it true Cal came to you before the game Saturday and said, I'm putting you in today. I'm coming at you, kid.
Yeah, he, you know, we were getting ready for the game through the week. He told me, like, I have to stay ready this week because this might be my opportunity to be able to get in, you know, show what I can do because as we were going through that game plan, they collapsed hard. So, you know, the lob was open over the top. And so that's something he's seen. So he's seen that. That's something he told me I have to stay ready for it.
Cool. Thank you.
Gary Graves?
Amy, what is it about this offense that you've seen that makes it easy for someone like you to come in and contribute like that? I mean, what is the really the key to success?
I mean, with our offense, we have a, you know, kind of an open offense, and, you know, like, we play fast, so, you know, and our guards, you know, when they penetrate, we got real good finishers, so, of course, when they penetrate, someone help over, you know, the lob is there, so I think it's just having really my teammates and how we're coached to play.
Any other questions for Daimion? Go ahead, John Wong.
Daimion, as we head down the home stretch and we start thinking about the tournament, leadership always comes up as a topic. Who in your mind is the leader of this team?
I think with this team, I think everyone kind of plays a part, like, as a leader role because everyone, like, if someone's down, someone else will pick you up. And if that person down, the other person will pick you up. You know, like, game-wise, if somebody might have a night where they playing good and doing all that, then one night they might not play that good and the other person will step up and have to play good. So I think it's pretty much a whole team thing. Everyone had that trait.
A lot of times when we think of leadership, we think of people who have had experience, who have been around. Is there anybody on the team who maybe you've looked up to specifically to help provide that guidance for somebody young like yourself?
Uh, Really, all the veterans on our team, you know, they're real good players and real good people in general. So just having them just to look up to as being a freshman, they've been real good for me.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Jerry Tipton?
Yeah, one more for me, Daimion. I seem to remember after the Kansas game, it was said that Keon the teammates sprayed him with water or something like that.
Mhm.
I'm wondering if you got sprayed after the game at Alabama, and what sort of reaction did you get from family, friends, whoever?
I mean, no, I didn't get sprayed, but the reaction was real good. Everyone was happy for me, you know, just being able, you know, like not playing in a few games, then get in and do what I did. The whole team was happy for me, you know, coach was happy for me, everybody was. So it was a real good feeling.
But you didn't get sprayed?
No, I did it.
Thanks.
John Hale?
Hey man, how has going up against Oscar every day in practice this year helped you?
I think it helped me out a lot, you know, really with the physicality of the game. Because, you know, Oscar, he's real big and strong. And, you know, people we go against be real big and strong. So, you know, going against him every day, they just helped me more and more to get prepared for the games.
Go ahead, Daryl.
Thanks, Deb. Yeah, to follow up on that, you're not the strongest by far. So how do you take advantage of what you have to get a rebound when you're going against guys much bigger and much stronger at this point?
I think my advantage is, you know, I'm tall and I can jump, and I got use my quickness. But I think the main thing is just mentally, you gotta have heart. And, you know, Cal, that's something Cal preached to us all the time. His fight. He just tell me he know I'm not the biggest, but if I just go out there and fight, I can do good.
Because it seemed like being courtside at the game Saturday, your confidence was growing throughout the game because you were rebounding, I guess call it fiercely toward the end, you know, grabbing them and ripping them down as opposed to there was no timidness at all.
Yeah, you can say that. My confidence was growing throughout the game, you know, just being out there getting like, you know, just being out there going through the stretch, just getting a feel for it. So I think my confidence was growing throughout the game.
Thank you.